I love Bashar. I love the teachings. I love living in joy and following your passion. And this conference is really an extension of my passion. And so I thank all of you for helping create that.
I just want to...
And we are live, everybody, just to let you know.
Okay, welcome to the wrap-up panel of the Hybrid 2 second day extravaganza, I would say. Barbara, I'm here with Barbara Lamb. Did you have a question, or a comment?
I had a comment that more in my personal experience and my professional experience, for the last year or two, more and more people have been coming for regressions to their higher knowing, to their soul knowing, to find out or get confirmation on their main purpose for being here in this life. Now, in all the years that I've been doing this kind of work since 1984, that was not particularly happening. But almost everybody who is coming now, they're all wondering, why am I here? What is the main reason? What is the service that I have on a soul level decided to do? Because I want to get on with it. So some of these people are in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or even 70s. And it's thrilling to me that so many more people are awakening to the fact that it really counts that they're here, and they really are here to serve in some way that maybe they haven't been in touch with. And of course, in many cases, they already have been serving in that particular way, but without the confirmation from within that this is what their soul has chosen for them to actually be doing.
Well, I think if they follow their highest excitement, right, their highest excitement, according to Bashar and my own experience, it is service, is this your way of serving. And I don't think there's anything more exciting than helping the whole planet wake up to who they are on whatever level we're choosing to wake up to. But I just want to introduce everyone here. There's Barbara Lamb, who has been regressing people to their hybrid life and their ET connection since 1984. Jacquelin Smith is a channel and a hybrid person herself. Marina Seren is the next evolution of the hybrid race. You can just see she sparkles with that new vitality. And Valerie Bruno has an amazing story of her awakening and transformation. And Geraldine Orozco is also here. And of course, Sheila is the person who put all this together. Ellen Steinfeld. So Sheila, how do you want to start this panel to wrap up everything we've heard in the last 2 days?
Well, I know that there's maybe, I'm not sure if the Q&A is applicable to the panel, but maybe everyone can just kind of share what they've gotten out of the conference. What do you think, Neil?
Just real quick, I'm just going to step away for 5 minutes. I'll be right back. But I want to bring Omar on in a little bit, and I have a question that he inspired that I want everybody to answer. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but you can start it however way you want.
But I thought, Sheila, let's wait till the end. Neil, just hold on. Because at the end, we wanted to bring everyone on, like whoever's left here, all 6. Can we do that, Neil? And then we could go around and just people can share some little...
Yeah, that's, we can do that as well. But the question I have, we'll do during the panel time.
So, yeah. And then, what I want to know, Barbara, since you've been in this sort of the longest, what is happening to the consciousness of planet Earth as this information comes forward? I mean, how do you see us shifting, and what do you think the future looks like for all of us to live in this world where this is not odd or unusual, but accepted, self-evident?
Well, I see little bits of awakenings going on here and there in life, in society. When well, I tend to think of myself as different than the quote unquote mainstream. And I don't watch television. I don't watch those series. You know, I don't even have a television. So, I mean, I really consider that my life is sort of a different focus, shall we say, and different activities. But still, I have contact with a lot of people who are outside of this community of interest as well as those in it. And I do see more and more curiosity on the part of people outside of this community. More and more people are beginning to ask questions like simple things like, do you think there really could be other beings in the cosmos? And of course, I'm delighted because that gives an opportunity to really talk about that. And although a lot of people in the quote unquote mainstream, in my experience, don't want to hear very much about it. Some do, especially in the much younger generations, like my grandchildren are, you know, more interested than my own children in some cases. And of course, they pick up a lot in the public, you know, for television, certain programs. So they, I think the idea that we're not alone in the universe and that there are many other beings, that is sort of in a very natural way permeating the younger generations. But even people in the older generations, middle age and more elderly like myself, are beginning to think about it, ask questions, wonder, become gradually a little bit more open, in some cases, very open. So to me, that's encouraging. And even with the disclosure from the US government, which was very pathetic, I think, in terms of what they really said. They certainly didn't name extraterrestrials or beings coming from other places, but they did at least name a category about these crafts. They named it one category as other. So that was pathetically little, in my opinion, but at least they acknowledged that there's something that they at least don't know about. And you know, it seems so odd to me that at the same time in history currently, when there's so little official mention of these things, but at least thank goodness there's some.
Right.
But at the same time, more and more people are coming out and speaking, at least on YouTube and BitChute and Brighteon and so forth, giving detailed lectures and interviews about their own participation in the secret space program. And that material always mentions lots and lots of different kinds of extraterrestrials, right, that we humans are involved with out there in space, on the moon, living in underground facilities and underground facilities on Mars. And so a lot of really detailed information is coming up from some of these people. Randy Kramer, Jason Rice, Joe Rodriguez, Michael Jaco, for instance. There may be others as well. And so that is happening. And yet there's this little tiny bit officially coming out from the Pentagon to Congress about other.
Right.
Lights in the sky are other. And then more and more people like us here at this conference and anybody listening to the material in this conference, you know, we know so much more. Mm. And yet it's taking a long, long time for it to become official. Now that might be different in other countries. And I wonder, Marina, where you are in Spain. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if it's more publicly known about the other beings out there in the cosmos.
Well, yes, but I'm not informed at all because I don't follow material from Spanish speakers because there's still not like information about, for example, the hybrid programs. You know, I think that's why I'm here in Spain, because there was not so much knowledge and awareness. So maybe that's part of my mission, you know, to start a channel in Spanish and start speaking about it.
But do you want to talk about the secret space program? Because I'm not that familiar with it, but you are, Marina. You've experienced it. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, something really important to understand is that there is different kind of space programs. Some programs are neutral. Some programs are positive. They're the factors of the secret space programs. And some are really negative, are really negatively oriented, and they are actually called the Dark Fleet. These are the German Nazis that in Second World War, when they acquire extraterrestrial technology from channelers called Real Society, psychic medium women that I am connected to from past lives, they actually started what we know as the Dark Fleet Secret Space Program, and it's an alliance between the Dracos, the Greys, some reptilians, Nordics, and the German Nazis. And they have been doing a lot of, well, nasty things. They do not have a positive agenda, but there are other secret space programs or space programs who do have a neutral or positive orientation. There's even also space programs who are trying to combat these negative ones. So we have to calm down, not to become dramatic about it, because right now it's really important to maintain a positive vibration, a positive focus. But yes, it is also really relevant for whistleblowers to come out of the closet, you know, of experiences and start to say what's really going on without getting into the drama. Because again, we have to maintain the focus on what's coming from there, the positive things, the hybrid programs, because we do not want to get caught in the narratives. You know, we do not want that. We need to bring here the good stuff so that we don't spin around negative beliefs, but rather integrate them, and so that we can receive the positive timelines and create them.
No, thank you. Thank you. I was going to ask Valerie about the positive timelines that are coming forward. What do you see as the future, Valerie, and this awakening of humanity? And unmute yourself, Valerie. Unmute.
In my Italian perspective, still we are in the beginning of the awakening process, and we are more interested maybe in the dark forces of the Vatican. So this is the main interest, more than ETs or hybrids that are the good ones. So there is a struggle between dark forces and the forces of light.
But it seems like things have turned, I think, in the last, or do you still think the struggle is happening now? Or is there?
The struggle is happening because I'm a quantum light defender. It's another mission that I have, so the struggle is on. And so there is a huge fight because beneath the Vatican, there is the portal to ascension of Gaia. It's huge, and it's, maybe I should not talk about this, I don't know, but it's covered by the Vatican.
An actual portal is covered by the Vatican?
Yes, it's the main portal to ascension to Gaia. For Gaia.
And so what?
Yeah, so practically it has been controlled because whenever it will be open, Gaia will undergo full ascension.
But it's also being controlled by negative ETs to stop that from happening, right?
Of course, they are working with the let's call dark forces that are not incarnated on the planet.
Right. but I think of enough of
but
us.
People is awakening every in any case. In fact, I can see it with my medical students. They don't know anything about energy. They do not even know what chakras are, but they are open to listen. So when I teach pharmacology. So it's a very mainstream subject. I talk constantly about drugs, but I say this drug came from somewhere else, some information. I say that was channeled, so it's acting multidimensionally. I say this. I say to my students that I'm a healer. So if they allow me to stay in the academy, I will continue because there is, I'm not in a position anymore to be quiet. I'm a rebel in general, so I want to speak my truth. If they will allow it, good. If they don't, I will go out of academy, of course. But the students are open. They're open. So I have a group of students who is following me, wants to learn about the 12 chakras, how to move energy. So they are interested. And what is most important is that they are starting understanding that we are energy. So they are beginning to look at the patient in another way.
Yeah. What about you, Jacquelin? How do you see the ascension of humans and the earth moving at this point?
Well, from my perspective, it's moving very slowly, but humans can only go at a certain pace. As a collective, but I feel like globally there are many doors opening. There are many new, what I want to say, the dimensions are shifting in terms of frequency in that, and in the people that I'm working with. I mean, 10 years ago, I would not have the number of people I have now who want to know who their star families are. They want to know about light language. They want to know, like Barbara had talked about, what am I here for? And before that, I was not having that many people, ask these kinds of questions because, and I've been working as a psychic 40 years, and there definitely has been a shift. And I think also with the light language opening, with more people speaking light language, that is going to be activating people globally. Just, even if they don't know it, if they listen to light language on some level, it is going to be supporting them in their own evolutionary process. So I do see things opening, more people really being open. I have many people who call me who want to know if they're hybrids. And what's the difference between starseed and hybrid, and am I on my path? And I always do like to say, if you do what you love, you're doing your mission. So I really do. I have hope that things will, I think they will continue to open and evolve. But again, being a hybrid and just knowing the things I know, it to me, it's like molasses. It's like walking through molasses. But
I think it's faster than it's ever been before.
I agree.
And I feel an exhilaration because look, there were 100 people gathered today for 8 hours, and yesterday 9 hours, drinking in all this information, sharing it in the chats, and it's just a field that is growing, like a snowball slowly going down the hill. It seems like it is picking up speed, maybe minutely, but it is speed. It's, picking up,
which is I think which is terrific. And I think one of the things that has really, one of the books that has really helped open all this and really people is Meet the Hybrids, because it's a wonderful book. I'm grateful I got to be a part of it. And I get so many emails from people who said they have read it. And I think, you know, the books that are coming out, the films, the art, the music, all of that is helping to really open people and activate them.
Right. Thank you. Is Geraldine here, Neil, or is she just showing her picture?
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
Hi, I thought you disappeared. Hi.
No, I'm here. How are you? So happy to be here again, day 2.
Yes, we're happy you're here too. Do you, I mean, some people say it's going slow. I think it's this movement, this change. What do you think? I think it's going faster than we're giving ourselves credit for, but what do you think?
I actually think that it is going faster. I mean, we take a look at the past 10 years. I feel that everything is moving faster. I think that that's kind of the way that the universe is moving right now. We're going through a much higher vibrational space in time where this entire Earth and all of us are passing through this higher vibration. That allows for many things to move quicker, manifestation, and also this healing, this opening. There's a reason why all of these things that have been in the shadows for such a long time are coming up to the surface, you know, for us to understand to what is happening, to feel, to embody, to observe that dualistic expression that's being shown in it outside as much as it's being shown on the inside. So I think it's an opportunity for us to, it's a time of integration. And as always, there's infinite levels that we need to integrate this information on. It's a never-ending process. So I also think that those that are not so much coming into that, I think they maintain a balance in this universe that is required for us to create this contrast. You know, I think we're exactly where we need to be.
Right. But is there anything we can do, just not speed it along, but to assist, and in your work that you tune into, what do you think is helping? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, in my work as a hypnotherapist and also with the DNA reprogramming that I do, the primary, what I've been noticing is information flows collectively in a cyclical pattern. I notice that it's depending on the time of year and also the influence by celestial bodies, people tend to come into certain themes of healing collectively. And we're cycling through masculine aspects and feminine aspects of the subconscious mind. Any kind of suppressed aspects of those are really coming up to the surface. And I see that in my healing work. And it's interesting because it's almost as if collectively we are healing those wounds that are occurring. So, you know, how can we heal collectively? It's again, it's an internal job that has to happen. That meditation work has to happen. And we are also learning new ways to meditate, new ways to heal, because what used to work a couple years ago sometimes is not working right now because we are heavily overloaded. We are, as we're becoming more multidimensional, we're having to really be able to catch up to that information that's coming from many different directions. It's coming from the physical plane and the multidimensional aspects of ourselves. This is how we begin to merge timelines from the non-physical to the physical. So that integration process takes time. And the only thing I can say is to just go back to the basics, right? When we ground, when we protect, when we practice that awareness of ourselves in every moment, that's when we can start to get out of any fear-based programming and then begin to just kind of observe what's happening and flow with what's happening without judging or fearing the things that are occurring to us, even if they seem, you know, out of the norm.
Right. Hey, Marina, is that because you're sort of living in two worlds, I think, or like all of us maybe, but, you know, seems like you are bridging that starseed hybrid connection, and yet you've chosen to be in the density, right? I mean, how are you helping others, or I mean, just being here, I think, is part of that. But what is your mission, do you feel, as a incarnational being?
Well, of course, as all of us, our mission is fractal. So it's based on many other missions, you know, like smaller, bigger. The bigger mission for me is to participate in the idea of the agenda of the hybridization program for humanity, and of course the first contact events, because again, the information that I was connected to, that I received as a download when I started my Kundalini awakening, had a lot to do with contact preparation, with the idea of being ready to attain this vibrational frequency that will be compatible to experience different energies that are extraterrestrial in natures. And actually, many of us are having extraterrestrial encounters on ships, but we do not remember, of course, because it will distract us from our experience of exploration of consciousness, that are actually altering our markers to a point that it is creating more opportunity for us to experience and integrate those energies, so that we have more probability to kind of like attain this experience on the physical vessel. And that's actually what's going on for many of us, even if we don't remember. So yeah, that's actually one of the most relevant missions for me. But what I actually realized is that it doesn't really have to, I mean, my work, of course, the work that I'm putting out, I'm conscious of how it is assisting people, you know. I have been witnessed how many people coming to me asking for channelings. It will help them and they will feel more prepared for contact to deal with certain aspects of themselves. But even if I don't, there seems to be like we people, we experiencers are actually being that mission without necessarily doing any specific action, because we are that energy, we are that idea, we exude that energy in our aura, to the point that I experience people who are non-believers coming to me and saying, I don't know why, but I think that you are an ET. And I was not awakened yet. And I was like, wow, this is surprising. Why do you think this? And they were like, I don't know. I feel strongly that you are a space experiment. You know, so until I woke up, I didn't know what it meant exactly. But then I realized, you know, so yeah, we are actually expressing that energy and maintaining that frequency, offering that frequency for others to tune in if they decide to choose that for themselves. And well, you know, guide them the way out for contact.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Neil, did you want to comment also?
What was the question?
No, I want to know, because, you know, we just spent 2 whole days here, and curious, what did you get? What did you learn? How did you evolve? I'm asking myself that too, from listening to
the way I evolved in this whole thing is I feel a heart connection and a remembrance. You know, some people might think that like I'm always remembering my mission because I'm doing so many events, but I just, for the last 6 months, there's a lot of things that happened personally and multiple people in my life that really derailed me hardcore, even though I was still putting out a lot. And just like the walk-in conference, really, I got to say, it's almost exactly like the same experience. But this one just helped me come back to my heart. When I see others out there that are so dedicated and so involved in this work and so passionate about it that it's on the forefront of their daily lives, right? And Sheila honestly inspires me so incredibly much. Like, just the fact that she does those weekly meetings, and it's just like, if there was a picture next to the word unconditional in the dictionary, it would be Sheila's image, you know? And so because of that, I was just inspired to work with her even more. But this has been just a 2-day activation for me. And I got to say this, like, honestly, I'm a huge skeptic, believe it or not. Like, and that I'm actually, for walk-ins, for example, I was only 75% invested in the fact that it was reality up until we did the walk-ins conference, right? Which is pretty huge. 75% means like I'm pretty much almost there, right? And then after the 3 days went by, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even have a question anymore. And then the same thing for hybrids. I would say I was like 85%, because I had a lot of experiences with when I first woke up, because I was into Bashar, you know, many years ago. And I was hanging out with a lot of people that were part of hybrid support groups and communities. And I'll be honest, this was like pre-2012. I had some judgments, you know, on people saying like, oh, I have all these hybrid kids. So I believe this is a reality, but then I thought that it was taken over the top a little bit. But then by just like connecting with Sheila, learning about the speakers, listening to everything here, I feel like I'm more in the place of like acceptance that this is a reality. And I've been saying for ages now that the rabbit hole goes deeper than most may think. And I really have not implemented it in my own life in some of these areas, right? But so just to kind of bring it to an end right here, it really has made me understand this concept even more so. And that there are so many people that are like how I was when I was being raised, like kind of like, even if we're having a fulfilled, empowered life, maybe having some sort of like disconnection or knowing that something's off or not fitting in entirely. And what Sheila has, and we, all three of us really, and then all the speakers have cultivated here together, is a place where not only individuals that, you know, they're having a great time at life and aren't having these issues can be a part of, but also those that need that support and need that community, right? I've been saying for a long time now that California is oversaturated with spirituality. You know, so like, and I am completely inundated with spirituality, that there's just so much to do that, you know, I choose to do very few of what's available. But what we don't realize is that the rest of the planet is not like that. There's so many places, you know, we've had people in Kazakhstan, in India, different places email me and say they have nobody to talk to except for these online events. So this is what it's for. It's not just for the people that already have that community, but to really go around the entire planet, because there's entire governments where you can't even speak these truths, you know, entire countries where you can't do it. So that's why I'm really excited just to be putting these on and connecting with everybody all over the world.
You know, also what you said, Neil, is just even beyond the subject, whatever we're talking about, star seeds, hybrids, walk, it's the excitement of the people presenting. I look at, you know, veterans like Barbara and Daryl, who's so passionate. Barbara, you are so dedicated to this change, to putting it out there, to devoting, in a sense. I mean, as I see you and met you every minute, to go for your excitement, to push the envelope of consciousness. It's inspiring just to see that. It doesn't even matter what the subject is. It's great that it's something, but it's the excitement. And look at Geraldine. You look like you're glowing there. You know, you're just kind of radiating. And are you particularly present now, Geraldine? You look very radiant.
Oh, thank you. I am very happy to be here. It is, I see it in the comment, it is nourishing. It really is nourishing, because you're speaking, it's almost as if the communication is not even happening on the physical or by sound, or, you know, it's literally, we're on a different plane that we're connecting here, and we're connecting dots and interconnecting with one another. We really are a star family, that we recognize one another, and the information can come in so many different ways that can be presented, but the key is that we are connecting and unifying with that higher self that is beyond the physical, beyond sound. It's a vibrational expression that we create together, and I'm honored to be here. Truly, it's great.
Right. Yeah. So Valerie, how can we help Italy to wake up?
Yeah.
I'm there. We are starting finding the tools. The only problem in Italy that almost anyone speaks English. So we have just the material available is not so much. So we have a spiritual community, of course, but it's more involved in the translation than in providing guidance. So for this, it's a slower awakening, because it takes time to translate everything. So for this, but we have a community anyway, a spiritual community, not so many, but good ones.
Well, actually, I was just published in a Italian magazine. I'll send you the link here about my book. But Neil, why don't you introduce Joan, who's just joined us here?
Yes. So Joan, you can tell everybody a little bit about your work and what you do, but I'll talk about Joan as a friend. We met pre-2012, I think 2011 to 2012 at Conscious Life Expo. She came and attended our first live conference in 2012 with, actually, Barbara Lamb was one of the speakers there. And since then, our relationship has flourished. And not only is she a great co-host and MC with me, but also has this connection to the angelic realm, has channeled many different paintings in which she's created portals to other realms and angelic dimensions. She is Joan of Angels in every way and form. And also at this point in our life, she's technically our best friend, Soul and myself. And we hang out as often as possible. She's only a couple of hours away from here. And we are going to be creating and doing a lot more together, including helping co-produce our live conference that's going to be in October 2022 in Desert Hot Springs. So let me go ahead and bring Joan on. Hey, Joan, how you doing?
Wow, what a great introduction, Neil. A fantastic introduction. And it's an honor to be part of Portal to Ascension and work with you guys. And just to tell everyone, I'm going to be interviewing Neil on Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on his YouTube channel. So, and I call it Portals to Transformation because that's who he is. Anyway, Barbara, it's great to see you. I met Barbara at my first crop circle conference 100 years ago, this life, and everyone else since then. I do at Angels, and I want you to know something. This was a really transformational workshop for me. I'm going to go back and listen. Sheila, Barbara, Jacquelin, Geraldine, you guys were wonderful. Marina, you look like the hybrid you are. So I paint Angel. And what happened for me since yesterday is I began to sketch. I began to hear of all these ways people are bringing in these energies. And it was like, Joan, come on, keep going. And so the bottom line for me is that, well, now my art turned vibrational energy. So you'll see it all when I'm on next week. But this was really powerful. I think we have more hybrid ET energy than we know. And this was an activating event, is exactly what I feel. Everyone came together and my DNA just went up 100 dimensions because of it. So, wow. And I am a walk-in of sorts because the consciousness I have now began after I began seriously investigating UFOs in 2011. And the me that I am now is actually not the same me that when I began. This was before I met you, Neil. I met you right after these new awakenings, and I had a lot of ET contact. So
you look different, Joan. You look transformed from when I met you. So
I am, Alan. I am. And when I was given the name Joan of Angels, you know, that was after I had started painting the art, and it was a transformational moment. The earth stopped, okay? And actually I heard Joan of Archangel, because Joan of Arc had been my thing. But you know, ascension, transformation, we're all lightening up as we grow. And this was a great event for that reason. The hybrids, I can't even explain. My own son, I think, is a hybrid twin that was taken the night of conception. And so I do believe that, and I have had visions and seen my own children hybrid. So welcome to the new world. I loved how you showed there is a new world.
Right.
Thank you, Joan. Also, you're going to be at the Starseed Summit, which is the third Wish Alliance co-production this year. Can you talk about, I know it's way ahead of time, but maybe you can tap into the energy of what you feel you want to express at that event.
The Starseed Alliance? Okay, that's so funny because it's almost like the first I'm hearing of it, but what I get is the following. When I did my second plant medicine journey, I saw writing on the forehead of several people, Sumerian text on people's forehead, like 5 of them. And I didn't know what it was. And I had a friend of mine who is a remote viewer. I said, this is what happened. Can you translate it? And sure enough, he drew it out exactly the way I had seen it, okay? And then he translated it. And he said, it said, we are calling for a gathering of heaven and earth. We are calling for this meeting, this melding of you who walk on the planet and us who help you raise your vibration. So I have a sense that this Starseed Conference is for those of us who have that starseed in us. We're here to wake up the planet, and it's percolating. We're doing our work. Right, Omar? Is that Omar over there? We're doing our work. That's what I feel.
Mm. Thank you, Joan. We are.
Thank you, Joan.
And the angels, and just I want to just comment before Omar jumps in that, you know, there is this spiritual awakening that's going along parallel to the ET hybrid awakening, or maybe it's the same thing. It's just opening up more of who we are, more compassion for ourselves and all of consciousness.
We are on the verge of this, and it is happening. It is happening faster than the speed of light. More light, more light, more light. We are winning this spiritual warfare.
Yes, thank you.
Let me just comment on what you just said, Alan. Like the hybridization of just like, let's talk about mainstream third dimensional hybridization projects that I briefly touched on right there. What they're realizing is by continuously doing these experiments until they get it perfectly right, sounds very familiar as ancient stories talk about, that by putting these hybrid genetics together, it creates completely unique traits that are like beyond anything imagined between the two parents. So as we continue to hybridize, that's what's happening. It's just a form of expression. So if we're like a hybrid, imagine 1,000 years down the line when we're hybridized with something else or whatever our creation is, all it is just a new form of expression, and it seems like it's infinite.
Mm. I just want to jump. The interesting thing Daryl said, it just came to me, is that the Yetis, the Bigfoots, were not hybridized by the ET genetics, yet they're more multidimensional than we humans. So I think multidimensionality and evolution of consciousness is natural to all life, all evolving consciousnesses. So let's bring Omar in and
well, Omar, should I ask the question first and then have you follow up with your explanation? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Is that what you want to get into first, or do you want to make a comment on something?
No, I just want to say it's been a fantastic event here this weekend. Really enjoyed it. Some really mind-tickling information. I've always been a skeptic, when it comes to hybridization and secret space program and all of that. And, I'm still kind of am a skeptic because I'm just getting into this and I need more information. But, looking over at Marina, I can totally tell that, we have some sort of a program at play here. So, that's a really big seller for me. So I learned a lot, just by attending here this weekend. But, one thing I noticed that, the entire summit, there was a consistency with every single speaker. And that consistency was one, consciousness, but on the other hand, it was the soul as well. Yeah. And that's something that I'm trying to define. So, I'll jump over to Neil and let him ask the question, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So, and maybe Omar will give a little follow up to this, but we were going back and forth today because he was like, he was talking about the word soul. And the question is, what is the soul to you? And is that word could that word possibly be a limiting label? Maybe it's more than that. And Omar, do you want to add a little disclaimer to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. For me, the word soul is extremely limiting because when I see myself as a unique signature within the infinite stream of consciousness and a point of attention when I take this form in this avatar and in this form of consciousness. And my forms can vary in different forms. I can come in a higher form of consciousness in a different vibration. I can wear a different avatar suit. There's many different things, but one thing is solid is that I'm an infinite being. I'm infinite consciousness and I'm all possibilities. So when we apply the word soul, to me, that seems like very limited. But, earlier on when I was listening to Daryl, he mentioned something, very good. He said, the soul expresses itself more when you're in a higher form of consciousness. When your self-awareness is arisen, you understand your soul a little bit more, so to say, right? But, my point is that, is it a limited term to which we're expressing ourselves with?
So can we go around, Alan, you think, and get everybody's opinion?
Yeah. I want to just say, first off, it's only limiting by the definitions you put on it. These words are defined by our mind, by the limits of our mind, and soul is just as unlimited as your mind will allow it to be. Yeah, there might be greater words, but let's not argue for our limitations. Let's say that the soul is an expansive aspect of ongoing creation, because we're taking it in every minute through the soul consciousness that's evolving us. So I think it's unlimited if you want it to be, and that's what I want it to be. So that's what. Yeah, but let's go around.
Let's start with Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara.
Okay, I think it's fascinating that I really do think that the soul is infinite and is part of the totality that there is, and that means multidimensional. And yet, in addition, the soul, I think, can be very, very focused when it comes to choosing to be incarnated. And I think that the soul chooses to be incarnated in various realms at various times, and as extraterrestrials, different types of extraterrestrials for certain experiences, and then as humans, incarnated as humans. So it kind of goes from that totality of existence to very particular choices. And that even though it remains universal and multidimensional, that while our soul, or part of it at least, is in a human body, in incarnation like we are now, it's very mindful, it's very aware of us and available to us. And yet, I think that most people, and for most of my life too, until recent decades, don't even think about our being a soul. At least many, many people I've met have just never considered that. They're so involved in their physical human life on Earth. But I think the more that we expand and become aware of so much more of what we are, and that we little humans are part of something so infinitely larger, well, it's just mind-boggling to me that we are so much in terms of soul, and then living this little temporary physical experience as a human on Earth. But how wonderful that we can, while we're in such a limited form, that we can reach out and expand to a much, much larger reality. Not only the reality out there, but the reality that we are. So to me, this is really exciting. And we are blessed, I think, in this lifetime to have the opportunity to know about this and to explore it.
Thank you, Barbara. I think we lost Alan for a moment. How about you, Jacqueline? Do you want to chime in here on this?
Yeah, I mean, that was wonderful, Barbara, what you just said, because I have to agree. I mean, I feel that the soul is infinite. And again, we're living many lifetimes at once. It's multidimensional, and we are living, my perception is, and experience is that we are living many multi-dimensional lives in all kinds of or levels of frequencies.
Mm.
And so there's that learning process, that evolving process of experiencing experiencing what others have experience. So we have a deeper understanding. So like I have one life I'm living where I'm a yellow butterfly. And, you know, we can be living a life as a dog or a cat or a tree or a plant. So I do feel the soul does choose the form or etheric frequency of when living on that level or having that experience for its own evolutionary process for the soul, but for the all, for the one as well.
Thank you, Jacquelin. And I think we can come back to you after everyone goes around for some light language infusion, if you don't mind. How about you, Valerie? Where are you at in understanding soul, consciousness, evolution?
I think that the soul is both the access point to our multidimensionality and also in the evolution of humanity, the part that was able to incarnate in a physical body. Because for how I see ascension, first you embody the soul, then your higher self, and then your monad. So your full lineage. So going back to source, the more incarnate, the more you ascend. So I see it as a part that has been the only one, the only part of us able to be in a physical body, even without being as aware of it. Now we are aware of it, of course, that we are souls. And then the more you embody, the more you ascend.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, you know, if we are an expression of the source, right? And we are in the mind of the source. When, if we look at it on a bigger picture, none of this is really real. It's all in the mind of the infinite consciousness. Wouldn't it suggest that when we say that we are an individual soul, that we are either detaching or are a separate entity in itself from the infinite consciousness or that that source energy?
Well, go ahead, Alan.
No, go ahead, Neil. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and that would be a great question to move on to Geraldine for, because I think one of your presentations was biomechanics of the soul or something like that. So maybe you can go into that a little deeper.
Yeah, thanks so much. When I think about the soul, right, the soul is the infinite. But what the soul also is that the soul is an engine of projection. And from that engine of projection, what it's projecting is continuous and infinite fractals, right? So these fractals are actually the ones that they have a choice of experiencing in that infinity awareness. And each one of the fractals that becomes aware is the one that's currently experiencing in this field. So every experience that we have, because, you know, our human body, the physical body, is just one projection, one fractal projection of infinite things that we're experiencing simultaneously. And the purpose of those projections is to experience and explore that collective evolution of an organism that continues to evolve through the information as it's being informed through our experiences. So I think the beauty of the soul in that case is when we activate, when we understand the function of this physical body as a storage system for information that informs the infinite, whichever one of your aspects that becomes aware and conscious in this field is the one that has the ability to manage and play by those greater laws of creation and navigation in these realms. So I think it goes beyond just the idea that, you know, the soul is, what did this gentleman just have? Sorry, what was your name again? I know you and I have met. Omar, we've met before. You just said something right now. What was it that you just said about your question? Can you repeat your question for me really quickly?
Yeah, I was going to say, if we are a expression of the singular source, And if we give ourselves a label of a soul, would that be detaching ourselves from that infinite source energy and suggesting that there are different source energies at play here instead of just the one singular that we're aware of?
Yeah, right. That's actually the point that I wanted to revisit exactly. And what it is that, I mean, it's not that it's a separate source, it's that it's a fractal of that source, right? That is being, and what we're experiencing in each dimensional level, starting with the third dimensional, is that separation. That's the purpose of this three-dimensional plane, is to experience that dualistic expression of those two. So that's when we begin to feel that separation. That's why we have the ability of experiencing fears and all of these lower emotions that are the experience of it. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, but it also means that it allows us, as a natural part of the evolutionary process and experiencing of a whole, that this is very much a necessary part of this total experience. And our fractals are bringing back information. We have access to that. That's why we can heal our body in the present moment, for example, by tapping into a fractal of ourselves that is healthy, or it understands health, or, you know, the integration of that, the fragments of the soul. But the soul does become fragmented through traumatic experiences, because the moment that fractal isn't coming into its full self, into that fusion of creation, that's when it begins to become distorted. So I guess as a soul mechanism, the idea is to reintegrate those fragments, and what that means is just become aware of them, and not from the perspective of just that limited dimension that you're experiencing them from, which is, of course, we're looking at it from duality and from separation. The idea is to see it from the highest possible perspective, the highest dimension. So that's where you can actually come into unity, because those are the laws of those higher dimensions. It's unifying all of those aspects of itself.
You know, in my spiritual studies, there's a difference between soul and spirit. Spirit is the part that has never been separated, and soul is on the journey, the adventure of separation. So there's a Sufi saying, what is sadness to the soul is laughter to the spirit. You know, it's like the soul is that experience in the illusion on whatever level that brings back that experience as wisdom. So the spirit can expand, but the soul, in a way, what I've heard, it's the Akasha. It's the record keeper of all the experiences we've ever had and the emotional feelings of those experiences. The soul remembers or records its experience as emotion, as emotional value. And so as those emotions are recorded and we gain the wisdom from those experiences, the soul is then brought back to that oneness and that integration of the soul spirit union.
What I'm getting out of all this is that it's all basically how you identify with it and label it. Like for example, every comment Omar made in regards to explaining what he believes that it really is, anybody could say, oh yeah, that's what the soul means to me. You know what I mean? So it's really completely up to like, if being an infinite being, like I think you said on the stream of consciousness, being that point on the stream of consciousness, there are individuals out there be like, oh, actually, yeah, that's exactly what the soul is to me, right? But then there'll be those that have more of maybe an organized religion view of it. But it's also this and that. We're living within a paradox. We're individual and yet we're connected at the same time. And when within this individualized reality, we have a point of contact that is almost like, as Bashar would say, our permission slip to be connected to the divine. And that point of contact, it could, be identified as the soul. However, if you look at it from what it really is, it's all just frequency and vibration, and it's all just part of one energy. But that is kind of like the computer programming that we've all adopted, And so that I kind of want to go into Sheila next, if you want to say something, Alan, because she wrote a book.
No, I just think Bashar's lesson, it says it doesn't really matter what dimension or reality that you're on. It's how you feel about that. It's your attitude that creates the experience. It's not circumstances. And that adds to the soul's value and appreciation and passion of moving in with existence, but moving in the flow of existence. So
I just like to say real quick, because I want Sheila just to comment on this, because she did write a book, Walk-ins Cosmology of the Soul. But isn't it how beautiful is it that there are like probably 7 billion versions of what a soul means? You know, because that's what it's all about. Is, and as Omar and I was texting back, in this world of amnesia, all we have is just a bunch of opinions and perspectives, you know? So we're all just trying to figure it out. And that's what we really need to focus on, is the beauty of our expression, you know? But Sheila, do you want to take?
Sure. Well, of course, I see us as all connected. We're all just one. We're all part of that larger oversoul. We've never not been connected to source, but we are a fractalized expression of. When I wrote the book, there was so much information that I wanted to put in there that but I didn't want to muddy the waters too much, because the main focus was on the walk-ins. But the way that I see it, and first I have to say, I think being a walk-in, coming in, the awakening aspect for me was easy, because I know that I'm a soul having a human experience, and I try to operate from that place most of the time. Now, obviously, I'm still human, and you have the frustrations and all those types of things. But for me, it's really easy to operate from that place of soul, because I know my memory is, of course, there's nothing outside of source. Everything is source. And so we're operating within that fractalization vibration of, but yet we are still connected to. What we are looking at is there are creation templates. And within those creation templates, we continue to fractalize and fractalize and fractalize. And there is an oversoul template that within itself, you have a master oversoul, and then you've got a universal oversoul, and you continue down the layers until you get to what my guides told me was called the Shantias Khan. And that is more of that individual aspect of the it's the larger fractal soul for this lifetime. And within that also contains all of our Akasha. It's like our own personal cloud storage, if you will. And when we incarnate, that aspect that still remains the most attached, the most awakened, the most aware, is that higher self. And yet that higher self, as it comes down into the densities, then attaches to the physical form and creates soul, which is the personality of this lifetime. So we have the larger soul, we have the smaller soul. And that action of connection, that action part of the soul, is what I call the spirit. And that's what enlivens all of the various layers of us. But even though we are this active fractal, we couldn't be separate if we tried. You know, we're all connected. We could not. And that's part of the beauty of coming into this human lifetime, is the excitement of waking up and remembering who we truly are.
Beautiful. Thanks. Does anything sort out any answers for you? But Joan, go ahead.
Well, this is one of the most complex subjects I've encountered in a long time. It's easier to say, you know, tell me about extraterrestrials and hybrids. I kind of agree a lot with Sheila. I feel like the soul, first of all, the soul is a word, and a word is a limit. So it's a box that we've put in our consciousness. So our consciousness is eternal. It is connected to source. And I really do believe that we are individual souls in a soul family. The soul family is in the soul tribe, in the soul universe, in the soul galaxy. We sort of all go like that till we get back to source. But it's a way to identify in a certain way, and even a map to getting home. Okay, because otherwise we'd go everywhere. But yet our soul, it's our ability to have unlimited expansion, unlimited wisdom, and unlimited information. In a way, it is like our own container. You know, like they hide all the documents on Earth and the special thing under the earth so that when 1,000 years later they can hold it. Well, in a way, we all have a soul container like that that really it would be nice to sit down and look at, and that's our history. That's the best I can do with soul. Even though I do sessions, soul awakening, which is like remembering who you are and why you are here this lifetime, your soul purpose. It's huge. All right.
Yeah. How do you make sense of it, Marina? Or that distinction?
Well, when I was listening to you all and I was asking myself this question, my higher mind just delivered to me a message, like an answer about it. So I was just writing it.
Oh.
So she says, if I have translated it correctly, because it's a process also to encrypt it into English. The soul is a geometrical fractal pattern structure that encrypts and organizes the dimensional facets and aspects of consciousness and attain experience in an intelligent and organized interconnected quantum system. Yeah.
Well,
and
could you write that in the chat? I wonder. It's like,
yeah, it's reading in the chat actually.
Oh, it's in the chat. But what you agree? You say?
No, it makes perfect sense to me.
Soul is a geometric fractal pattern structure that encompasses the multidimensional facet aspects of consciousness and attained experience in an intelligent, organized, interconnected quantum system. I get it. Yeah. That is based in emotional value, I would add. But anyway, what about, Valerie?
Well, I think we already went round. Valeria, you already went.
I think she did. Okay.
So let me ask you, Alan, how long do we want to go for? Because we do have one question, another one in the room that maybe some people can answer, but you probably have some questions too. So
no, but let's go as long as you want to go, or everyone here. And then I'd like to hear Jacquelin do some light language, if that's okay with everyone. But do you want to ask, what's the question, Neil?
Let me ask, and I'll give my 2 cents after we go around. So anonymous attendee is asking, frankly, not excited about going to space when we trashed Earth. I saw a billboard in Chicago airport years ago. We can destroy anything in the universe if we can get there. I read Stephen Greer's writings that Earth humans are one of the only few really destructive races. What do you think we should explore space when a big reason it seems, let me reword this for him. Basically, why should we explore space when we're not treating our Earth well? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should comment on it first.
Yeah.
So I think it's this and that. We have enough abundance. We have enough knowledge. We have enough people to work on everything. You know, just because there are some people that maybe have a mission oriented to explore space doesn't mean that we have to let go of our Earth, you know? So I think we can do both of it. And when we're talking here, you know, there isn't too much conversations about let's go out into space and colonize, except for NASA and the billionaire class. But when it comes to consciousness and this whole disclosure process, what we're talking about is preparing the Earth and humans' consciousness to be at a level where we are the caretakers of our planet, so that we do take care of our planet, and then, you know, have open contact. We're not talking about leaving our planet. We're talking about opening our arms to all the other potentials and possibilities that are beyond this third dimensional reality. So I feel that we can do both, but partly the reason why we're talking about shifting our consciousness isn't so we can shift our consciousness so we can leave our planet and go hang out on other ones, but it's so that we can take care of the Earth and take care of each other more, and then eventually be in a reality where we do have open contact.
Right. Yeah, I just want to say that the two great situations that will unite us as a planet is the environmental change and meeting the other, going out into space and realizing that we are one consciousness on one planet. So it's not either or. But Sheila has to leave soon. So Sheila, do you want to say something before you?
Do you have to leave at 7 p.m. your time or our time?
Yeah, if I leave, you know, in 45 minutes to
okay.
an hour and a half,
okay.
yeah, I'm good.
All right, good. Okay. Great. Does anyone else want to answer this?
Yeah, I'll answer on that question. I think it's the nature of our soul or our consciousness to explore and to be curious about other things and always raise the level of our awareness in the dimension which we're occupying. So it's important to explore space as well as it is important to explore the earth, because we can't have one without the other, right? So I think it's our curiosity that really makes us unique, and that really what drives us. And I think that's connected to our consciousness, this exploration of space. It's not to go back home or anything like that. It's just that wondering of what's really out there, to ask more questions, because it's the curiosity of our, that's part of our nature.
Right. Geraldine, I just want to make a comment that people forget to sometimes that it's not Earth and space. Earth is actually within space. Earth is actually in space and a part of this. Go ahead, Geraldine.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I wanted to say, is that we keep trying to think of space in terms of the human ideas of science, physics, and all of these modalities of measuring things, unfortunately, are very limited because we're looking at them from the Earth perspective. When we think about space, the reason why we haven't gone far enough in our understanding and research of space, discoveries of space, is that the space is operating in completely different levels. I mean, we're talking about different vibrational frequencies, the way that time, space, and we measure things. It's a completely different scale of understanding reality than we can perceive from our limited Earth perspective. So when we think of space, there is no actual space out there. I mean, the way to be able to access that is by entering into an understanding that it's an interdimensional thing. We access space through quantum non-locality, the ability to teleport and enter in these spaces, these vortices of black and white holes that we have access to, move through time and space without the limitation of the Earth, time and space. So it's important to think of it. Space is actually inside. We access that through the consciousness, through the mind. That's how we access those planes. That's how we access those planets, in fact. It's not something that physically we need to move in and out like that. That's not something that... that's how UFOs work. UFOs are vibrational frequency, and they manifest into the physical, but they can move in and out of these dimensions at any time. And so we need to start thinking in those terms when we're talking about space. And hopefully, by looking at those terms, we move away from the idea of just, the parasitic idea that everything is just here in the physical and the exchange becomes imbalanced. It's a more collective view of the well-being of all organisms that are interacting with one another. And in order to do that, the vibration has to shift. We change our vibration. This is how we begin to move interdimensionally. That's where the focus might want to be.
And plus, where does space end? It's only as big as your consciousness. Does it end with the room you're sitting in? Does it end with the house you're in, the country, the planet, the solar system? There is no end to the infinity of space that we are we can have access to. So like Geraldine, it is a mind thing. It's a consciousness thing. It's us and our infinitude. And I like what Mary says about the health of inner and outer space here in the chat. So do you want to do some light language, Jacquelin, and as far as like kind of sealing all the information and bringing forth a level of initiation that we've all been dealing with this weekend?
Sure. Yeah,
and,
I would love to.
Okay.
Everybody can just take a deep breath. Ole kinda na makali te ita kori te siama dai te malalia. Ulaki no da siama kai ke kanakoe ukra te ira. Usala uraki umo ulaka le te le kamananaeta. Ushiki manalali otali urite yamaha. Ushua nanana ti kataria. Umete I sikia nalala. Umeyonko deata o lakaya. Usava ki te malayo te anana ushiki lakari anana toe umaka ia ora ua I o ona ua ta ora ombre tere kare ia tori te inana ananana usia nana koe ushiki iatana ushiki inanana koiata te ona uma usteki ia unana. So be it.
I felt a shift. Thank you. Thank you. Marina, do you do light language too? Is that your?
Well, I don't really do it. It just comes to me momentarily. Like, no, I don't choose when it comes to me.
Okay. Do you want to do anything, or it's not coming to you now?
Well, I have one channel message.
Okay.
But right now, I don't feel anything's coming through.
Okay. Or anyone else have a Valerie or Geraldine or Barbara? Valerie?
We can go around and have our closing thoughts for.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go ahead, Barbara. Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope that this conference, that all this incredible information is shared with a much broader audience. So will it be on YouTube or someplace that other people can access it? It is so precious.
And the panel from last night, we already have a total of 4,000 views just on the panel from last night. So this one will probably have, second days always have a little less. So it'll probably be like a good 2,000 to 3,000 people that will watch this. But then over the next year, we're going to chop this up and relaunch it on different YouTube. So there'll be, and then we'll put it on the podcast. Each podcast gets like 500 listens. So there's going to be a lot of people into this awareness, because that's what it's truly about, is us cultivating this library of information and then continuously circulating it out, you know, so that more and more people can gravitate and resonate with it.
Good, good.
Do you have anything you want to leave us with, Barbara, and as far as overall?
Well, I'm just very grateful for everything that everybody has shared. And I feel very expanded and enlightened myself from all of your sharings. And it's been wonderful. I feel that my contribution is from more of a regular person living on Earth. I mean, in other words, not a hybrid, not a walk-in. But so I feel like I'm kind of a liaison between regular people and all of you much more enlightened ones. And we need a link like that. And so I'm very pleased to be that link. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for everything that I think you're more than just an ordinary person, I have to say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, actually, Barbara, all of the information that you're dealing with is a projection of your own consciousness. So just because it seems to you to be on the outside doesn't mean that it is an experience and an energy coming from within your own soul and consciousness.
Oh, thank you, Marina.
Wow.
Nice perception.
We need to clone Barbara and have her regress herself so that she can tell us all the info of who she is.
I was thinking of that yesterday when we were listening to your movie, Barbara. I was thinking, oh my God, I'd really love to find out who her whole soul background and regress her.
No, Jacquelin Smith in 2015 gave me a wonderful experience. It was one of her star origin readings. And that was very enlightening for me, very expanding. And everything she said about the different realms and different species that I had been in long ago in various incarnations, everything just resonated so much with me that as she said it, I felt like I was an explosion of light that I was pure light as she brought up these different kinds of incarnations. And with each one, it made so much sense immediately about me in this life. So I really want to recommend that to anybody interested in Jacquelin Smith's star origin readings. Really outstanding. And that has helped me to have more realization of who I am as a soul.
Great.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I would recommend that also because, well, between Jacquelin and Barbara, they both have helped me discover and reclaim certain aspects of myself, and I'm very grateful for that. And working with Jacquelin, I was able to discover about my own hybrid children, which I'm not really ready to talk about yet, but I do have 12 out there.
Well, Geraldine, do you have a message, anything you want to bring through?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's definitely an important thing that I work on, which is the activation of DNA. And how we activate our DNA is by understanding the human technology, right? We are so incredibly advanced. And so the more that we begin to tap into our advanced technology, training our intuition daily, trusting that intuition, we are helping collectively move into that divine feminine, that surrender, that trust. And so that's the invitation that I invite, you all to do. And of course, if anybody wants to work with me, please reach out. And it was an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you so much.
How do they find you though? Reach out where?
Yeah, my website, GeraldineOrozco.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And Valerie, what about you?
I feel we are relearning about who we are. So each time that each one of us or in other context add a piece of information, it's a mind opening and an expansion in the collective consciousness. So as I always say, even if we do a small work on ourselves, we are doing it for the collective. So I think that in these 2 days, we have really expanded the collective consciousness. And I'm glad that I was part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Joan, what about you?
Number one, hybrids are walking among us everywhere. And that's a good thing. That is such a good thing. That was the bottom line that I took away from the conference, was that this is the advancement of the soul. This is how the age of Aquarius is happening, is through the hybrids. And I got that, me too. I have hybrid kids, but me too have that part of the hybrid within me. And it's very exciting. It's just so exciting to see this and feel it. And this is a great conference, Neil.
Yes.
Honestly.
Thank you. And we'll be seeing Joan a lot on Portal to Ascension. And Omar, what about you?
Well, Omar, also talk about your disclosure conference.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I really took a lot away from this weekend. All the great speakers. It really lifted a lot of the fog and a lot of the questions that I had in my mind about this hybridization program. And I've been researching it. And like I said at the beginning, I've always been a skeptic, and I just need to continue to research this. But this conference really pointed me in the right directions for me to go and do my own research and come up with my own conclusions. And I truly believe that there is hybrids walking amongst us. I have told my children that many times. One example I've made to them is, sometimes when you're walking down the street or you're standing at a street light and you look over at somebody and they look human, but not really, chances are that, either they're ET that are walking amongst us or they're some sort of a hybrid human being. Right. And I've been telling them for years now. And my youngest is quite aware of that. And, sometimes he'll come home and he'll tell me, because he works at a grocery store, and he'll say, hey, I saw somebody today that kind of looked human to me, but not really. So, I wasn't really quite sure, but I had to tell you about it, right? So I was like, pretty cool. So, that really got me started. And so it's really lifted a huge fog for me. And I really appreciate that. A lot of gratitude for that. Mm-hmm. So on August the 5th through to the 9th, I have a 55 speaker total disclosure conference coming up. It's going to be for 5 days. Starting first couple of days, it's going to be pretty early here on the West Coast. And as the days progress, we're going to start a little bit later and later. And the final day, we're going to start at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because we understand that a lot of people are working, and we want to make this information available. So when people get off work, they can come home and watch us. I'll put the link in the comments here pretty quick. But we got Alan there, we got Dr. Joan there, we have Neil, we have Dr. Hertox there, Dr. Valerie, Dr. Manu, Dr. Sam, just a lot of great researchers. The idea for me was, the government can't or won't provide us a disclosure, and the disclosure that they will provide us is just going to be full of holes and redacted. So it's really up to us, the people, to provide disclosure. And because we know people, and we know a lot of people, like for instance, right here on this panel, that we can bring all of these researchers and authors all together so that we can do a for the people and by the people disclosure, and that we don't need Big Ben's permission, or Uncle Sam or whoever, right? We don't need their permission to tell us what's real and what's not. We already know ET exists. We already know that we're in communication with them. We already know that they walk amongst us. Now we're in the process of making contact with them. So let's move forward from that and look into different aspects of disclosure, like plant medicine and earth communication, and oneness, and the whole becomes the one becomes the whole, aspects like that, so people can use this information in their day-to-day lives, so that their self-awareness increases, and with that, they can become a seed of consciousness within their own community and begin to press forward this message that they're learning on conferences like this. So that's really the intention behind this entire disclosure coming up.
How can people find out about it? What's the website again?
They can go to my website, projectionofyou.com, and I will put the link here in the comments. We've got lots of people signing up, so it's a really nice response to it. So it's very positive, and I like it.
It's for 5 days. There's going to be 55 speakers at least, I think, and it's going to be streamed to Portal to Ascension. It'll be on our YouTube, and if Alan's cool with us doing it to his,
no, of course, please stream it to my platform.
Yeah, a lot of people. And, Omar put a lot of work into this, but 55 speakers, we did one with a lot of speakers just last October. It takes a lot to put on, but it's a gift to the world. So everybody sign up for it if you like to. And if you're on YouTube, we'll put it in the comments. And
does it cost, is it free? Does it cost money?
This is absolutely free. And, I did this, organized this with a friend of mine, Rob Yox, from Full Spectrum Universe. This is a huge task for one person. So Rob and I collaborated on this to put this together, and also with Neil, because we're going to be streaming this also to the new website and a number of different platforms. We did that with our previous event Seed. We streamed that to the PTA website, and hoping to continue that tradition, so we can continue to just feed into this pool of knowledge, so that people can come and get hundreds of thousands of hours of conscious material.
Great. I'm happy.
What is the name of the conference again, and the dates?
It's called Total Disclosure, August 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
At projectionofyou.com.
Yeah, I'll post the link here right now.
Thanks, Omar.
Thank you, brother, for giving me this opportunity.
Are we going to let everyone in the room who wants to say something? Do you want to do that, or what do you want to do?
Well, should we finish going around?
Let's finish going around. Marina, do you have any words that you want to leave us with? Because, you've become a superstar out here.
Thank you. Well, yes, I wanted to express all of the gratefulness that I have for all of you to be here and all of the wisdom they express. It's an honor because you really are amazing. You really feel so familiar to me. And yeah, I mean, I love to listen to more people because I know already my own information. So, you know, getting to hear other stories and get to hear others' messages and channeling information is like, this is great. You know, it really fits and nourishes my soul. So thank you, everyone.
I have to say, Marina's in Spain and she grew up Spanish, but I think you told me you knew you had to learn English in order to communicate with the world that you have incarnated to be a messenger for, right?
Yes, that's really true.
Congratulations.
Right. And you taught yourself
a big thing.
You taught yourself English basically, didn't you? I mean,
yes, I did.
And you speak so well. That is a starseed hybrid activation indigo person right there.
Thank you.
He looks so much like a hybrid, and all of us, I'm looking, have the same shape face. Okay, I just want to point out, Neil, Marina, and even Barbara, we all have sort of a similar face. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Jacquelin, did you want to say anything? And then we'll go to Sheila.
Yeah, I just wanted to say incredible weekend, incredible. And I just want to thank, you know, all of you for being, Sheila and Neil and Alan for doing this, because it's brought together a group of people whose stories are just incredible. And through listening to all the stories, there are threads that run through all the stories about being hybrid, which I really love. So I was honored to be a part of it, and I'm so grateful. And I can't wait for this to get out to the world, you know. Thank you.
Thank you. And Sheila, of course, the mother who's birthed this movement here.
I'm just over the moon. As I said earlier, I am so grateful to all of the speakers. I'm grateful to our special guest for coming back and sharing all of your knowledge and wisdom. I know that every time we have these conferences, I can feel that wheel starting to turn a little faster, because as we gain this momentum and we're sending out this frequency, the collective is also picking that up. And so I just don't know what to say. I'm just so excited. But the one thought I would leave with everyone is, please remember that you are a soul having a human experience. There is no such thing as separation. None.
Exactly. Thank you. And Neil, what about you? Or
yeah, well,
would you want to do it? You want to save it for the end, or what?
Yeah, I could. How about in the end, I'll do some poetry, and we'll bring people on now. And
as far as bringing people on, I'm just curious for people coming on to share a frame, share like a moment that really stood out for you from the weekend. Like, what was that spark that just said, "Oh my God, yes"? And that's what they call a frame. And that I'm just curious about, or whatever you want to share. I don't want to.
So I'm going to go ahead and bring everybody on, move you guys to panelists. You do not have to start your camera. You do not have to start your microphone if you don't want to chime in. But if you do, go ahead and start your camera, and we'll keep it brief and just go through a few people and get your feedback.
Yeah. And what stands out? What was a moment for you this weekend? So you could.
For me, yeah, it was really the whole entire thing, you know, and. Right. But to start out, like the first couple of presentations just really set the energy for everything. With Barbara's information, Jacquelin, and then Geraldine, just the momentum was building up there. And immediately I was aware of the diversity of what we're going to be exploring here. Because when you talk about hybrids, you can do a whole 2 days and speak on similar topics, if you know. But what we did was we covered many different ranges, from myself talking about ancient history to talking about the dynamics of the soul and the cycles of time, to experiencers, to the hybridization program, to government connection to these hybridization programs of Rebecca Rose. So it really did exceed my expectations. I always want something to be very diverse and us to do it from as many angles as possible, but it really happened like that organically. So I loved it, and I definitely loved the energy of all the speakers, right? And I'll say it again, I said it 3 times now already. The support energy that we all have, and the like, okay, like this is the life that we've all chose to live. Now we're here together on Zoom, connecting all over the world, having these conversations on how we can further uplift the world, but by doing the upliftment of ourselves as well at the same time, right? So all of us like having that reassurance and that validation so that we can move forward. Because even though I want to believe and have faith, you know, all the time, the confirmations and the validations coming through synchronicities, you know, that seem external to us but really aren't, really do help fuel us to keep us in alignment and on track with our missions. So that's just a bit of really what I got out of this whole weekend.
Great. No, it's always, yeah, it's always great to just share, because it increases my understanding what other people get. And it's like, oh, so we're all expanding. What about you, Crystal? Your camera's on. Unmute yourself. Thanks for joining us. Wait, we're still not hearing you, Crystal. Oh, not yet.
You got me?
Oh, now a little bit.
It's a little staticky, Crystal. Let's see if we can hear you.
Go ahead, Crystal. No, we're not hearing you right now.
I think your service is a little low.
Turn up your volume, maybe.
Switch your camera off and do audio only, and that might work.
All right.
Anybody else though? Well, I'm sitting.
There's April. We'll come back to you, Crystal.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Crystal. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really been a very valuable weekend for me, because it's so wonderful to be with people who really understand what I'm thinking. And I'm able to get onto the train with your thought also. So I just can't say thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you. How about April Earth? April of Earth. Yes.
Hello. I just wanted to say thank you, first of all, for everything that has been shared. I didn't get a chance to see it yesterday because I was out, and I can't wait to look at the recordings. But it's what Daryl Anka said about synchronicity and how everything happens when it's supposed to. This conference happened exactly when it was supposed to for me in my life, because I'm going through certain things, and I'm going through some really serious things in my life, and this is putting me on the path to understanding it and making the changes that I need, and bringing up questions that I had from when I was a kid and other experiences that I had as an adult. And this is just like exactly what Daryl Anka said. Everything happens exactly when you need it. And I really, really appreciate everything that everyone here shared. I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you for the music company.
That's not me. I don't know who that is.
Samuel, if you
who
can
it is,
Samuel.
But it wasn't April. It was someone else. But, maybe it's Samuel.
Whoever's got their music on, shut it off.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Alexander.
Say that with love, Alex. Come on. But Kathy has her hand up. Kathy Ging.
Yes. Well, ever since I fasted for 60 days in 1976, 7 and 14 days at a time in the new moon, I've been guided by the keys of synchronicity and only by spirit. And spirit has kind of forsaken me lately. And I needed this conference, and I listened to every minute of both days. I thank you profusely. But one question I have, I'm a little bit concerned about whether the COVID is a depopulation agenda, which a conference call with a former CDC whistleblower informed us that it was. Is there any comment about why the COVID is here? Yeah.
Anybody want to comment about that? I mean, I don't know. I don't. Anybody?
No comments. I think that's probably. Oh, go ahead, Barbara.
Barbara.
Yeah, well, I do think there is a big global depopulation project going on. And I'm very distressed about it. I don't know what to do about it except to not participate in it as much as possible. But I think it's extremely interesting that we have this dynamic between those, what I would call the darker forces, who want to be in total control here on this planet. The contrast between that and then all of us who are really trying to upgrade the consciousness of humanity. So we really see these two parts interplaying, which means that what we are all doing is all the more important, in fact, critically important, in my opinion.
Wow. Thank you, Barbara.
Just two things, Ellen. One thing I would have to say is that we need to go back earlier on into the conference and listen to what Daryl was saying about the railroad track, to where we're going to come to a certain point where our vibration is going to change, and we're going to, our perspective is going to be the same as others and those who are not. So I think this program of depopulation that's happening, because we don't agree with it, we don't vibrate with it, I think it's just going to phase out for us, and maybe just continue on in the other realm, or state, or whatever the case may be. But I don't think we should really give it any more fear energy, because the more fear energy we give it, the bigger it becomes, and it has the ability to control us, and we shouldn't allow that to happen.
Yeah, thank you for that. Is a great reminder, and Daryl's right. There is many timelines, and which one do we want to be on, right? And it's a choice.
Yeah, really, it falls in with the Hopi prophecy as well, and a lot of Aboriginal prophecies across the world, and the Aborigine prophecies. So we're seeing that shift happen right now, to what Daryl was talking about with the railroad track, where we're splitting up, and it's really nice to see that you can see it in physical time and in real time that that it's actually happening.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. How about you, Nadi? You were part of yesterday. How was today for you?
Today was everything. It has been such a roller coaster. I have terrible coverage here. I mean, I felt like I was gushing gratitude yesterday, and it's just all I can do. And I think it's been activation, it's been remembrance, it's been sadness, some sadness, some homesickness, and Jacqueline's light language flipped it all. I was having a hard time this morning because Valeria's sharing was so deep, and I had so much homesickness and her knowing, and I was just, it brought up so much. And then to have the light language follow, and it was, I want to say, this was one of the most well-run, on time, perfectly staged with integration, and I think it was just a marvelous weekend, and I'm so amazed by how you all pulled it off, and I just look forward to keeping in touch with everyone, and thank you so much.
Thanks for being here, all 2 days, and everything that you're doing in the world. Put your website in the chat too. And what about my friend Alex? How'd you like the weekend? Thanks for joining us, Alex. Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, it's just, it's a deep confirmation of soul, to find those who know what we know. It's just such a relief to be able to communicate the same language to others who just immediately understand from a soul level. But we just know, it's just great. The key is to be the leaders, to bring it out there now, particularly now in this time of great, a great calling to all of us, that will be the leaders that we're meant to be, to really forge, to be the spearhead of this new, the acceleration cycle on the planet, to awaken, others, and the others who have to make their choices by their own destiny, obviously. So, but it's great that you share that, the immensity of love's unlimited, the power of love through this evolution that we're all experiencing together. So thank you.
Wow. And thanks for inviting Dan Winter to come on. That was really a great thing. And what about my favorite yogini, Leanne Curtis? What do you have to say for yourself there?
Wow. Well, here, I'm actually using my cell phone with the geometry on it to talk. Otherwise, it'll get crazy.
Okay.
Everything resonated so deeply with me through this whole weekend, as it does in every one of these conferences. Neil, my goodness gracious. Like, he knows he's the recipient of the hypertexting going, oh my God, trigger, 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 ah. But I feel like the knowing deep inside us all, the knowing, it's been suppressed for such a long time. It's being activated as we all gather, as we discuss these things, as we think about these things, as other people hear us speak these things, speak these words, feel these truths, expand and express through our voices, through our art, through our music, through our just being who we are at the very fiber of our beings, to express as our unique selves, with not maybe reckless, but with abandon and with joy and with bliss. You know, I really feel as if it's activated everybody, not just the people in the group, but all of the fractals walking on the planet. Every bit.
Oh, she froze up in that bit of moment of revelation.
Oh, oops. I think I slipped into something.
I think so too. It was another dimension for a moment. Thank you, Leanne.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. And Jacquelin,
Great. Thank you. That was, thank you. And what about Esteban? Did you have something to say?
Sure. How you doing?
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Last night, very late, I've been doing a lot of activations. I had a big heart opening, and I came across a Marina's post about the panel at the end of the night. And I mean, the synchronicities couldn't have been more ideal. I sat through the whole thing, and instantly I had to go to Neil's website, sign up for today, and I haven't missed a beat.
Wow.
It has been amazing. The energy has been beautiful. I've been a little lost trying to find my way, and I've been asking Source for a little bit of guidance. And lo and behold, here we have Neil, 16 years of research with foundations and ancestral history. It's everything that I've been asking for, along with a panel of, I mean, you guys are impressive. I've got chills everywhere. I'm just eternally grateful. And yeah, thank you for reigniting this passion inside of me to accept who I am and move forward in power and share this with the rest of the world.
Well, you found your people, you and your parrot. I think Leanne went to get one of her parrots, actually. What about Loney? Oh,
real quick, I think Sheila needs to leave in 5 minutes. Right,
okay. Yeah, Sheila, please go ahead.
No, I'm okay.
All right, cool.
Loney, unmute.
Well, all I'll have to say is that there have been many pieces that have touched me, because I've not believed I'm anything but this old dirt from the dinosaur ages off of this earth. But maybe I'm starting to feel and see a little God spark that is coming alive. And if you can do something like that for this old person, I always say this soul in a meat suit, then y'all have really touched something. So I am grateful, and I am in my gratitude. And thank you so much for having me to be a part of this.
That's actually the most beautiful thing I've heard. I mean, not that it all wasn't beautiful, but that. Thank you.
Thanks, Loney.
Thank you.
Sheila.
Summer wind has joined us. The summer.
Sheila,
Yes.
you have to go soon. Do you want to talk about?
I mean, yeah, I do need to go. You know, I mean, 30 minutes would be my max, but
Okay. Well,
yeah, I'm so grateful. So let's just keep going.
Well, but that was really sweet of you, son. You are a spark of divinity, Lonnie. You are. Who else? Oh, Samuel or Leanne, does your bird want to say anything? No.
Let me just say this. There's 5 people that I cannot. I'm sorry, Leanne.
No, 5 people you cannot.
5 people that I cannot, for some reason, move over to panelists. Darcy, Ian, Patrick, Pia, Ribala. So if you want to speak, log out of Zoom and then come back in so I can go ahead and do that because there's something going on with the settings.
And is anyone else? Samuel, you have something? We heard from Kathy. And I just want to share what the frame that stands out for me is something Kamara said about her just being herself. Just that's really all we're here to do. And it doesn't look like anything anyone else has prescribed for us. It is some unique combination, and we may call it hybrid, Darcy, but it's those are labels for an undefinable essence that makes up each one of us. And you know, it's okay to have labels, but it's also to know you're not the label. We are something that can't be defined. And I think we come together because we recognize this in each other, the desire to go beyond the labels and, you know, transcend the old form. So we're calling it something else, but we're as Ramdas says, we're all just walking each other home. So anyway.
You know, one of the things that I'm noticing with all of the energy and all of the synergy that's being created over these past 2 days, all of a sudden, it seems like there's this gentle integration that's starting to happen. And as we're all coming together onto the screen, there's like a settlement.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah.
Real quick, Omar's got to leave. Omar, do you want to say a few words before you head out?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much to every single person here, everyone that participated in the chat room and on YouTube, and all the presenters, you know, helped me lift a huge fog from my mind. So thank you very much, and huge gratitude to every one of you, and love you guys all, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you in August. Thank you, Omar.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, Omar, if you could send your flyer to the Wish Alliance, I'll go ahead and put that up on the events so people can see that.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Sheila. I will send you that on Messenger because I believe we're friends on Facebook. So yes. I'll forward you it there.
Thank you.
Okay,
great segue thanks, brother. Great segue real quick, Sheila. Let's talk about Wish Alliance and invite everyone to sign up for that.
Oh, yeah. Invite everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you have not already, please visit thewishalliance.org. Sign up in our contact section. We have lots of wonderful information on there. We have events, we have meditations, we have articles. Anyone who is interested, please let me know if you desire to be part of the Alliance, if you want to be an ambassador and have your services listed. If you have articles that you have written, please get those to us. We are happy to post those because really what we are doing here is exactly what Wish came to do. We want to pull everyone together. We want to have this powerhouse of information so that regardless of what topic you're looking for, you can go to Wish and find it. And we log in directly into Portal to Ascension. We promote all of those events, and really, let's see, Jacquelin, Barbara, Neil, Alan and many others are part of the Wish Alliance. And so if you desire to be part of this growing organization, please let us know, wishalliance.org. We'd love to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila, again, for being a visionary. And it's going to keep going. Who was that, Kathy or something? Is that something, Kathy? Or, well, no, it was someone else. Well, let's hear from some people who haven't spoken. How about John? John down there. Yes. Hey, thanks for joining us. John, unmute. Yeah.
I have to go here pretty soon, but thank you, everybody. This was absolutely wonderful. Yes, I'm feeling the consciousness right now just lift me up. I had an opportunity to watch Bashar yesterday because it's his monthly thing. I also had the opportunity to watch Wendy Kennedy yesterday, and this, I was drawn to this because this is really my passion right now.
Wow. So, what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Colorado.
Okay, great.
Up in the mountains.
That's where Sheila is.
Yeah. It's beautiful here. But I've got another Zoom to go to from it's Simon Park's Connecting Consciousness, and so I'm really connected. Love doing all this. The more I can learn, the more I can add to my soul, the more I can grow. That's been my passion all my life. So I just want to say I am grateful for you all. Thank you all for being the best you, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Put your email in the chat so you can stay on the mailing list. And there's a Starseed conference coming up in October. There's Portal to Ascension events. You can look at YouTube. There's lots of stuff happening that we're going to connect people to.
Yeah, everybody who signed up is already on the email list.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, great. How about Angie? Is that Angie or Anga? Hi.
Angie. Hi, how are you?
Good. Where are you located?
In Australia. I'm in Melbourne. We're in lockdown at the moment. So
great. How'd you find out about the conference?
I always watch Portal of Ascension on Facebook. So yeah. And Neil brought me in the other day and got to see it. So I'm really excited because I'm just finding myself and finding all about this and finding who I am and trying to speak my truth and where I fit in. It's not easy.
What really stood out for you at this conference, what you've heard?
Everything, actually. Everything for me is just learning, knowledge, and where I fit in with it and what resonates with me. So, yeah, which is a lot. So it's just overwhelming, trying to work everything out and see where I fit in. What am I, a star seed? Am I walking? Trying to work it all out because I know there's something going on there.
Don't work it out. Just let it happen. You'll be.
Yeah, leave it to the universe, I think. Yeah, I think I'll leave it to God and he can work it out for me.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. That's great.
Thank you.
And who else hasn't? Was that? Oh, Summer Wind. The winter wind, the summer wind. Yeah, go ahead, Summer.
Actually, I had something to contribute in terms of the information, just briefly. We're aware of people like Marina and like other hybrids who exist in our world that are integrated in our society. But there's another level that's a little bit deeper than that, a level that operates in kind with all of us, the average population on the planet. And it's, I guess the only way to say it is like shapeshifters. It's people who are part of our story from the inside out. People who play almost like actors, if you will, helping us create the kind of story we need to eventually get to that level of ascension. And I would even say that there's a lot of people who are potentially on the call who might be those people, is how integrated they are as part of the society. So yeah, I just wanted to add that, but I love all this stuff and I'm so grateful for for Neil and you just putting everything together. I think it's absolutely important and essential to have those support systems in place. And without this, like, the conversation is not being had without you guys. So thank you, both of you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, maybe you should add something to the wish alliance shapeshifters, Sheila.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Who else is there? Let me see. Who have we? Oh, Jacqueline, you have to go?
Yeah, I have to go. So I just wanted to say goodbye and thank you so much for an incredible weekend.
Oh, great. Thank you. Oh, and thanks, Jacqueline. See, and what about Michael Ney? Michael Ney.
Hello. I'm on a planet called Australia.
Oh, you too. Where in Australia are you?
There's a few of us here. I'm actually in Queensland, near a place called Mullaney. It's an eco village called Crystal Waters.
Oh, and Mary Rodwell, isn't Mary Rodwell up that way?
She's 3 hours away from me. Yeah.
Right.
And so for me to and us in Australia to come to this, we had to get up at like 2:30 in the morning, and it's been absolutely so incredibly inspirational and so much love. Like, honestly, just, you know, all the speakers and the communication just generally has just been so love-filled. I'm actually really emotional about it. And keep on going. And as I posted in the chat there, as you know, Alan and Sheila, I'm creating a documentary called Beyond Being Human. And there's a Facebook networking and research group. And I'd love you all to join in on that. And it's a place where everyone, you know, I totally make it open for everyone to promote what they're doing, because, you know, we need to share all of this. There's a number of groups on Facebook that say, oh, you know, no self-promotion. It's like, well, I'm totally the opposite. I love to hear about what everyone's doing about their books and podcasts and conferences, and same as what Sheila is doing with Wish Alliance, which I'm about to kind of get more involved with. And look, it's just an amazing time. And thank you, Alan and Neil and everyone. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you for giving me permission to self-promote. I just put my book up there. But yeah, thanks for all your beautiful words. And for, you know, this is a non-local community. We are worldwide. We're everywhere. And it's just a new time. We are bonding beyond time and space. It's sort of miraculous that this is happening on a planetary scale. I mean, it's like it couldn't have happened 10 years ago. It's just, or even maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. Something's going on. It really is a portal to ascension, Neil. Anybody else? Oh, what about Denise? Do you have something to say if you want to, Denise? Or no, that's okay. If you, well, I know Mary always has something to say. Mary, please join us. Mary, I guess she maybe doesn't. Oh, there you are, Mary. How do you sum up the weekend? Unmute yourself. Unmute, Mary. Mary.
Hi there.
Hey.
I would just like to say thank you all from the bottom of my heart for creating this great community. I think it lifted all of us up, and all the information that's zooming out all over the planet to every little cell and molecule is hearing this and getting uplifted right now. So many warm thanks to all of you for all your wonderful stories. It was really fun. It's exciting that we're all part of this. So just big, warm hugs and thanks to all of you. Really grateful to be a part of this community.
Yeah, it's great. Well, is that everyone, Neil, who said?
Well, in case that isn't, if you want to say something, just go ahead and unmute yourself and come on camera right now. We'll give it a second here.
And if not, you're gonna close out with a poem, right, Neil?
Yes.
But also just some quick upcoming events. There's the Starseed Conference in October. I'm doing a talk with Deepak Chopra at the Open Center on Tuesday about ET realities, and he never talks about this stuff. So I've got him to come and just say, well, Deepak, I know everything is consciousness, but consciousness is about to take a bigger step, so
I was amazed when I saw that. When I saw you were doing that with Deepak, I was like, oh, it's about time.
Right. So I'm going to put that in the chat. I did before, but I'll put it again. I'm curious because he's coming from a pure consciousness level, and I'm coming, it's still consciousness, but it's an evolution of consciousness.
Yes.
So it'll be an interesting discussion there. I'll put that in the chat. And
exciting that you're doing it. I just want to tell everyone I'm interviewing Neil on Tuesday, and he is very fascinating. He is our modern day mystic, and you'll find it on Portal to Ascension, because I called it Portals to Transformation, which I think is Neil's undercover work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be one of the most, probably one of the interviews that I've done that's going to be the most about myself and my journey and who I am and why I did what I did. Because as Joan said, we have such a great friendship that really comes out when we have conversations. So if you guys are interested, you can subscribe at youtube.com/portal to ascension.
Is that going to be live, stream live?
Yes.
Stream live. Great. And also, I might just want to say, Geraldine, you have something coming up in September, right?
Yeah, I do. Thanks so much for that. I will also be speaking at the conference in August, so I'll see all of you there, friendly faces. And in September, I'm doing a wisdom conference. And so I invite you. We have some of our friends that will be there as well, and very excited. So I think that's it.
What's the theme of the wisdom? What does that mean? Wisdom?
There is no really theme. It's just I'm collecting a group of the most wonderful, brilliant friends, family that are here in the field talking about ET consciousness, everything to the science of consciousness, to the spiritual aspect of it. And what it is it's experiential and both lecture. So it's a lecture experience so that people can really get involved and connect with one another. So that's the thing that's different about it. But yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm going to send you my application there too, actually.
Oh, yes, you are definitely there for sure. And also I'll be speaking to a couple, including Neil, that is incredible. And so many all of you are my friends. So yeah, whoever wants to come.
Thank you, Jacquelin. I mean,
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
No problem. Thank you. Geraldine. And thank you for everything that you guys did this weekend, by the way. Sheila, Neil, and Alan, you guys are just incredible. Thank you.
Well, we're following our passion. We're following our bliss, right?
That's the way to go. Love it.
And anyone else have anything to say? I mean, Sheila said this is like having tea with the family, right, Sheila?
Remember the Hawkins conference at the end when no one wanted to leave?
Yes.
We're just sitting staring at each other. That's how it ended.
Well,
I was like, you hang up first.
Who said this is about go and find the other? That was someone this conference has said. Oh, that was Nadi who said that. We're here to find the others. Yeah. Right.
So if we don't have anything else, then I'm just going to talk about a few events coming up and then do some poetry, and we'll close out. Is that good?
Yeah, but great to see everyone's faces because everyone's a part of this. This is whether you're listening or talking, we're all entangled in this web of movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I particularly love doing webinars. I love doing live events, but I love webinars equally because we are all over the planet. Like I envision almost every single time at the beginning of one of these events, like this earth with all these little lights strewn all over the planet, creating this grid work because we have a collective intention that we're spreading everywhere. And, it used to be within tribes and communities and countries, but as you said, it's a global community now. And we're doing that, which is also why at the beginning of events, I'm always like, go ahead and tell us where you're from, because just knowing that and seeing like, oh my God, that person's all the way from over there and that person's just down the street from me. It's just so beautiful that we could all come together and share this information and share love with each other and inspire each other from all the way on the other side of the planet, you know?
Well, there is no separation anymore. We're non-local. The human field, we're all right next to each other. It's like technology has, transcended time and space, but that is only a reflection of the mind that actually is transcending time and space.
Yep. All right. So are we good now, Alan? Should I get into?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to share my screen just to show a few events, but we are launching a new website. Some of you might think I'm the boy that cried wolf because I've been saying that for a whole year now, but we are almost there. The third week of August, it will be launched for sure, with another 2,000 hours of content that wasn't even available on our website before, documentaries, really robust platform. The events on the website I'll show you in a moment, but just some of the upcoming ones would be Trisha McCannon next week, Return of the Divine Feminine and Masculine. Then Laura Eisenhower, Upgrading in the Face of Adversity. Right after that, Celestine Starr, Cosmic Earth Changes. William Henry. We have Deborah Katz doing remote viewing in fourth dimensions. We have Adam Apollo, Mysteries of the Human Origins. Then we have Phil Gruber, and I know I'm just rambling and listing them off right now, but I'll show you in a second. We have Phil Gruber doing an event at the end of August, followed by Ray Hernandez, who's going to be doing a 2-hour presentation called A Greater Truth, in which he's going to go into details, because you've seen him on interviews, and he's talked briefly about his stats and all the data that they've collected. But this is going to be, it's probably going to go up to 3 hours of hardcore information. So if you really want to get an idea of what's going on in regards to the contactee phenomena, then do attend that one. And then following that is the second annual on Portal to Ascension, because they've been doing this for years, IAN's conference, International Association for Near-Death Experiencers, and Portal to Ascension has helped them stay alive during the COVID times, whereas we've moved everything online. That's going to be a 4 Zoom room, 10 hours a day, 5 days event with over 150 speakers online. And I run all 4 rooms, so I'm like an octopus, like doing all 4 Zoom rooms at the same time. But that's going to be at the beginning of September. So a lot of amazing things coming up. After that, we're going to go back into our conference series and start doing something that I'm really excited about, which is the Ancient Civilization Conference series. We're going to start out with the Maya Empire in September. Then we're going to go to Lemuria. Then we're going to go to Atlantis, Egypt, India. So we're going to go all around the planet and just go into ancient civilizations and spend 1 to 2 days dissecting all of that awareness. And it's something I've been passionate about wanting to do for quite some time. So now we have the ability to do it. So all of you guys are signed up on the email list already. You'll get updates on that. And besides the events that I specified, we're constantly going live on YouTube every single day. Alan Steinfeld's going live on New Realities as well. And we have some free conferences in between. We have ones on sound and vibrational frequency. We're going to keep doing the UFO disclosure events every 3 to 4 months. And we're also going to do a free all-day event called True World History. And I understand that I just said a lot of words and I just said a lot of events. So the best thing to do really is just go to portaltoascension.org, check out our online events right here. And when we launch the new website, check that out as well. I'm going to ask one thing from all of you, if you could help me, is that when the new website gets launched, we're going to send out an email asking people to go ahead and browse it and navigate around the site and give us your feedback. Because as soon as we launch the new website, we're going to take a little time to make little tweaks and changes based on the feedback of the audience. So exciting. We have a lot of things in store. We just keep picking up momentum, 110 events a year. And by next year, I think we might even go into more and doing series and courses and all of that. So.
And then I'm excited about the live event coming up in, when is that, 2022?
So October 2022. We've done 2 Portal to Ascension conferences online. We've done 2 live. So we've done 4 annual Portal to Ascension conferences. In October 2022, which is next year, October, we're going live again with the Portal to Ascension conference. And that's going to be in Desert Hot Springs, at the Miracle Springs Retreat Center, where they have all these amazing hot springs there. So not only do you get to be a part of, one of our conferences, but you also get to dip into the hot springs and relax and all that as well.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's not far from the Integratron where George Van Tassel built this time machine directed by ETs. It's a great place in the desert, right, Joan?
Oh my God, yes. And honestly, we ought to arrange some kind of tour out to the Integratron and Giant Rock.
Yes. Aren't you living out there? You're living out.
Everyone out here. I live
One
like
mile away from the venue.
Didn't we go, Neil? Didn't you go with me up to the Giant Rock with Dr. Dream?
Yeah, with you and Dr. Dream. Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's invited to that live portal to ascension.
It's going to be a huge celebration because if you know, my friend said to me at the last live portal to ascension conference was like, all you did was just throw a party and invite all your friends, and that's literally the energy of it. You know, it's just like a reunion, and we're all just hanging out, having fun. Everybody's taken care of very well, and it's very intentional and consciously run. You know, so you're just gonna have a lot of fun. So stay tuned. We'll tell you about that when we get the details.
And I'm so excited because you're in my home turf. Finally, everyone's coming to the desert. You'll see my sanctuary.
And it's great to soak in those hot mineral springs too.
It's the second best water in the entire world.
What's the first best water?
Well, I don't know. Usually we go in and out, but I can't tell you. But that's interesting. We are right over 2 fault lines here.
Oh.
So now you have it.
Like a vortex.
Great. Well, it's near Palm Springs. You can fly into Palm Springs, actually. That's the closest. And, or drive there. So, Neil, I guess you're going to take us home again with some beautiful words.
So, as I said yesterday, that my Planet Earth album, I did the first 3 tracks of it. I'm skipping the next 3 tracks. I'm doing the last 3 right now. And this is track 4, 5, and 6, called 5 Sensory Being, Abundance, and Road to Zion, respectively. And here we go with the first one. This is called 5 Sensory Being. The sun shines brightly. Solar flare activity creating cycles of lucid dreams. An etheric beam taking 8 seconds to arrive. Asking God if I'm alive. Pinch myself, water in my face. This has to be reality. My thoughts are encased in physicality, constructs, limitation, I debunk, conspiracies, agendas, and pain. The 5 senses, they limit my frame of reference, blessed with so much reverence for all I encounter. This is my own resurrection. When you look at the sky and see your own reflection, you know you're heading in the right direction. Fought my entire life just to be present. Now I'm here in the moment. What's the next step to take? Embrace the polar opposite and don't fake myself anymore. We have to be real to the core. 100% intention, no doubt. I'm heading back to source. No need to force your own evolution. Etheric resolution. The destination has already been chosen. It's the journey that counts. With peace, love, and understanding, I'm out.
Love it.
This one's called Abundant Blessings. Days go by. Dreams solidify my purpose. I lived a life on the opposite side, thinking that I'm worthless. Looking at the window, daydreaming, wondering if existence has any meaning, rather than the obvious, because the object is obscured. It creates obtuse awareness. Into the hells I'm lured. Darkness until my psyche is cured. Internal whirlwind manifested a few girls in this world, and friends, I've had plenty. Used to show up with the entourage everywhere I'd go. It's always a party. But then why is it that I still feel alone? I was begging the star beings to take me home. There is no mistake that I'm consciously awake. My heart, it would ache, and the earth, it will shake. So I go against the current, traveling upstream, sitting by the lake. Just a good amount of money so I can keep getting baked. Numbed out towards the fake. Bringing the real, I feel the planet needs. Planting seeds, sending love to all the beings. No judgment, only pure loving. Acceptance. Life, it's a self-test. My number 1 affirmation is that I'm truly blessed. That I'm truly blessed. Okay, last one here. Road to Zion. In this world of calamity, with organized piety making people drop to their knees, we be the free. People see right in front. Time for the peripheral, narrow-minded ignorance. Be the bigger man and see the benevolence. The interdimensional energy of love holds my truth above other dimensions. I'm the anti-level vacuum being sucked down with the pull of a black hole. Recycling this universe that shows acceptance. Knows acceptance by accepting the predicament that I am in. With all the government made me think I do is all I do is a sin. Straight fear-mongering. So I write with a pen to show a beginning to an end. Just know we chose to be here. Tear perceptions of fear. And remember, Jah will be waiting there. It's time to believe in yourself. It's time to believe in yourself. It's time to believe in yourself. Forget monetary wealth. to concentrate on your health. I felt lost, stones pelt, body bloody. Judgment by those who say they love me. But what does love mean within these lower frequencies of emotions, causing mental erosions? I'm frozen in a rapidly moving time, with holes in the heavens, flow of energy from realms of divine essence. These beings, they think that we're under their guide to receive lessons of ascension. No. The gods we show, the biblical portrayal of Jesus in pagan rituals, the deities who we worship and bow, ask for forgiveness, and how can we reach the kingdom of heaven? Away from ourselves, looking externally for personified God, indemnified soul of the old ancestry of the duality of friends and foes. Know this, the energy level, it will persist. The energy level, it will persist. There is no, the energy level, it will persist. The New World Order doesn't matter one bit. No one world without singularity. Physical perceptions manifest in realms of spirituality. No order, pure anarchy to set all of humanity in 13 different third-dimensional planetary systems free. So follow me, and we will all transcend and ascend to the fourth density. Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful. Wow.
Wow.
That was amazing, Neil.
Amazing.
Right. Maybe Kamara will illustrate some of that for you, right?
Yeah, we're going to collaborate for sure. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'm going to be dropping my album pretty soon. And if you're part of the email list, you're going to get to hear it as well. I'll be on Spotify within a month or so.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Everybody, love you all.
You.
It was a beautiful experience.
Sheila, Marina, Barbara, everyone.
Appreciate you all.
Love you guys.
Geraldine.
Thank you. Much love.
Thank you.
Yes.
The replay out will be out within 24 to 48 hours. You'll get the replay of this. And again, you can watch it back for unlimited as long as the internet is still around.
And stay tuned for the upcoming conferences, Star Seeds. Marina will be there, and all of us and all of you and everyone. So yes, thanks, Neil. Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful night, everyone.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barbara.
Good to see you, Barbara.
Thank you. Yes.
Love you, Barbara.
Yeah, Joan. Good to see you.
Thanks for staying up, Marina. Thank you, everyone. See you, Joan. See you soon, Joan.
I know.
I got my finger on the button.
All over again.
You'll have to end it for us, Neil.
I'll do it. Okay.
It'll be all right.
Over and out.
Okay.